All right, let's go, everybody. All right. Man, I am super excited for tonight. I've been working pretty much the entire day and even quite a bit yesterday trying to put this all together for you guys. Before we jump in here, let me just confirm everyone can see me and hear me, all that stuff. And let me know where you are, where you're watching from. All right. So yeah, we've been doing these, or I've been doing this 15 days of sourcing. It was just kind of like just a challenge for myself. There wasn't really any major thought behind it. I was just like, okay, I just want to go live. I want to get back into the habit of creating more content for you guys, and showing you guys the different processes and helping people make more money. So I've been going live almost every day for 15 days straight. There's a couple days I skipped, and then I made up from here at the end. We are, hey, how's it going, Linda? How's it going, Peter? For this final day, I was trying to think like, okay, what should I do for the final day? And I thought, I think it'd be really cool to actually like put together like a lead list, and then utilize concepts that I've been talking about in these other 15 days of sourcing, utilize the different like sourcing methods, things like that, that I've been using, and also utilize sourcing methods that I will be talking about and diving really deep into during sourcing camp. If you weren't aware, Q4 sourcing camp is literally starting tomorrow. So this is like the last big hurrah, the last big like YouTube video and things like that you'll see for a while, because I'm getting into Q4 sourcing camp. That's where 100% of my energy is going. Okay, so I've spent a fair bit of time, and I've really tried to get, I really tried to use like a wide variety of sourcing methods in order to find you guys a wide variety of items. So I have a lead list here. I am going to drop this link into the chat, okay? Now, if you guys could do me a solid, if there are new people who come in who are like, hey, where's this list, whatever, and I am talking and I don't see it, if you guys could just copy and paste that list for them and help the newcomers who are coming in, that would be awesome. If you have not gotten a ticket yet to sourcing camp, it is right up there. Again, today is the last day to sign up, because tomorrow we start all of the lives. Let me get this going, and then I will share my screen. Okay. And actually, I'm going to move the video over here so I can see you guys. Bear with me for 1 second. All right. And then share screen. So yeah, I've been working all day, and I put this list together for you guys. Everything on here is profitable as of today. Everything on here is stuff that that I would sell. It looks good. I may have missed one or two things. It happens on occasion. If I missed something, let me know. But for the most part, I'm pretty confident that this was all good to go. What I'm going to be doing in this session is basically walking you guys through this list, and talking about the hows and talking about the nuances, the notes, things like that. The item itself, yeah, it's fine, but this is very much secondary to how did we find this? Why did I look here? What are the nuances here? What can I teach you about it? So this is the important part. The item is just the gravy on top, okay? And then once we actually get through this whole list, I'm going to do some A to A sourcing, because that was also one of the things that I've done on a couple of these days, is I did some Amazon to Amazon flipping. My goal here is for this whole list, for it, like let's just say you buy 2 units of the things that I wrote, which is pretty reasonable. My goal for this is to be able to fully pay for sourcing camp, which we should be able to do when we pull these Amazon to Amazon flips in that I'll have to do live, okay? All right. With all of that said, I'm going to start here at the top. If you guys have any questions about these items, about what I'm doing, about the leads, about sourcing camp, let me know. Feel free to interrupt me, and I will try to take questions as we go. I have no idea how long tonight is going to last. I planned on this being about an hour, but I talk a lot, and I'll go until until we need to stop. All right. So as long as this is beneficial for you guys, I am here for you. Okay. All right. We are going to start right up here at the top one. Now, I'm going to start by checking these notes. Okay, so how did I find this Yankee candle thing? I'm manually checking new seasonal items from one of my favorite Q4 OA websites. Everyone who is a part of Sourcing Camp, if you guys look in your in the guides section, like the level 2 unlock thing, which is very simple, everyone gets this basically, is you guys are going to be getting a master list of a ton of my OA websites. I've got a massive master list that I use. I just ran those names through a random picker basically, and I gave you guys 100 of my favorite websites that I source at, okay? So this is one of those that's on that list if you're in Sourcing Camp. And if you're not in Sourcing Camp, well, everything that you see here, you should be adding to your own master list, okay? So this first one, Yankee Candle, I was just looking for seasonal stuff. Yankee Candle, we're going into fall. So all of like the pumpkin stuff, all of the caramel apple stuff, all of the those fall, autumn scents, they're all doing really well. Now, there's also a couple sales going on. So they have 25 off of full price orders if you buy something at full price. You can stack that on top of this 11% cash back from Top Cash. If you're not using Top Cash, you can just click that link and you'll get 10 bucks for free. The price has spiked a little. The price spiked like this last year. So if you can FBM it quick, you'll make bank. Worst case scenario is still fine. And I'll show you that. Okay, let's pull up this listing. Now we can buy this at the website when we are stacking all of those things. I'll pull up the main website and we will see how this looks. How many hours a day is Sourcing Camp going live for those of us working other jobs? So like 6+ hours every single day. However, I totally understand that most people who are coming to Sourcing Camp have full-time jobs. And so everything is also recorded and we're doing all of the sessions in the evening. So hopefully you can catch most of the sessions, or at least, I don't know, some of the sessions, and everything that you miss, you will get the recordings for, and you get to keep those recordings forever. Okay. And it's all like, it's not like you have to watch it live to get the full benefit. We have a whole community. There's a whole, we actually even have an app for this. So any like questions, issues, things like that, you can still write those in the community and still get your questions answered. Okay. All right. Whoopsies. I clicked the wrong one. Okay. So we've got this Yankee Candle dreadful drip thingy. Okay. So it's this right here. There's like these two little, I don't really know. Oh, I guess when you burn it, it looks like blood. I guess that's kind of cool. All right. So it's $8, but this is full price. So remember, everything that is full price right now, you can use this 25% off coupon for. And then you see in the upper right-hand corner, Top Cashback has that 11.11%. So when we jump over here for our buy cost, I'm going to put $7.99. Then I'm going to multiply this by 0.75. That's 25% off. And then I'm going to multiply that by 0.89. That's 11% off or 11% cashback. So this is really sort of what we're actually paying if we're including that top cashback in our buy cost. And if you're not including that, that's fine. Do your calculations slightly differently. It's not going to change this from a good buy to a bad buy by any means, okay? It is currently selling for $25. We can buy this for $5. And is it selling? It is. Now, I wrote this in the notes. The price has spiked, okay? So what I would find best here is to list this FBM so that you could take advantage of this price spike before it drops back down to its more normalized range. When we look last year, I'm not using this as its normal range because one, you can't find this during the summertime, and two, it's incredibly rare for this to sell. I mean, between February and May, it sold like one time right there, okay? But last year, this is the data that I'm looking at last year, September, October, November. What are we looking at here? So I saw this same $25 here at the beginning of September, exactly like where we are at right now, okay? But this is last year. As we moved into September, it actually steadily popped back up to that $25 price point. It went down to about $21.25 and then $16.65, about 15 and some change. And then it kind of normalized between that 17.18 and about 14.15 after quite a while. You can see here, this is 15, okay? So what I like to do here is, what's my best case? What's my worst case? My best case here is that I can flip this for 25 bucks and I'll make 222% ROI, almost $12 a profit. Great. What's my worst case here? I think my worst case, like on the low end, is about 15 or so. All right, we're still making good money. In fact, we could go lower than that and we're still making good money. Now, I'm not aiming to sell this for $14, but if I have to sell this for $14, like if this tanks and I was like, oh man, it dropped down to 14. Am I at a loss? No, I'm still making almost 50% ROI, $2.50 profit. So our worst case is good. Our best case is phenomenal. And this sells really, really well here during the fall months, okay? So I really like that one a lot. That's why it's here on the list. I wrote all the nuances there for you. Okay, moving on to our next product. Let's see here. So for this one, I used the Keepa product finder. So I did this just a couple days ago for our 15 days of sourcing. I used the Keepa product finder to find some short dated FBM products that were both selling and profitable. I think that's something a lot of people miss when they're utilizing Keepa to find stuff is, sure, it's easy to find stuff that's selling. Like someone just asked the other day, hey, how do I see all the stuff that was selling last year, like the best selling toys during Q4 last year? And that's pretty simple. You can look that up in Keepa. And I showed people how to do that a couple days ago. But that's really only half the picture. And I find that a lot of times it's not even the most useful part of the picture, because you can find what's selling. I know what's selling. I can just look on Amazon. But is it profitable? That's the key difference. It's much harder to find something that is profitable and selling. Okay, so I used this. We found something that was selling and profitable using the Keepa product finder. So this is from Walmart here, all right? And if you have no idea, like, okay, what the heck is Nate talking about, this Keepa product finder, go to keepa.com. This should have been the very first tool that you bought for your business. There's sort of like an order of operations as far as tools go. So you get your professional selling account first. So that would almost be like tool number one. So it's like $40 or whatever for your professional selling account. Do not ever buy anything before you've gotten your professional selling account. The next tool that most people should be buying is Keepa. And then the third tool that most people should be buying is some sort of inventory tracking software, such as Inventory Lab or ScanPower. I was just talking to someone about this earlier. There is no other paid tools that you should be buying before an inventory listing software and before Keepa. Ever, period, hard stop. If someone is telling you something different, it's because they are being paid a lot of money to tell you something different. Okay? All right, so in the Keepa page right here, we can go to data and then product finder. Now I put in all sorts of parameters here to try to find this. I was looking for Little Debbie's products that were multi-packs that I could find on sale. Why? Because I found this, okay? Walmart is running a sale on stuff. We see this right now, it's $2, okay? There is some shipping, but if you're getting a lot of these, you can usually get around that. And there's usually some other ways to do this. And honestly, like if you have to pay a little bit more for it, it's not the end of the world. If you have to pay $3, it's all right, okay? So we've got this here. And we'll pull this up on Amazon. All right, so a couple of things right off the bat. We see 50 plus have been purchased in the past month. And when we look this up, so when I was looking for this, you don't need to buy any like fancy tools to do this or anything like that. Just right click on it and click search on Google. This is how you can find the buy cost of pretty much everything. Hey, welcome, Matt, all the way from Australia. Actually, you know, my sister, so she lives in Australia. She was just telling me she's got a friend who's getting into Amazon who might be joining us. All right, so yeah, we see here, we're looking for the 9-pack. There's the 9-pack from Walmart, $5. I just saw it earlier for this $3 price point. I mean, I've got it right here for the $3 or the $2 price point. But yeah. All right. So right here, if we get 3 and they're $2 a piece, paying $6. All right. Good. Profitable. Is it profitable? Yes. Is it selling? Yes. Done, done, done. Okay. So use the Keepa product finder to look for some short dated stuff. And we found it. You cannot FBA ship this. The expiration date is too short. You require a certain amount of time in order for Amazon to accept your products and to sell them FBA. And Little Debbie's are short-dated products. They just don't last very long. They last about 2.5, sometimes 3 months, but it's just not enough space for FBA. So you must FBM this. Shipping will vary, but it should cost you about $8 to $10. Okay. All right. Next up, we've got Dillard's here. All right. Okay. So this is one where you should always, anytime you like look at any leads, anything like that, you should always be rabbit trailing. That's something we're gonna talk about a lot in sourcing camp. But you should always, always, always be rabbit trailing off of a list. See what else can you find? What else is there that's good? Okay. There's different levels of rabbit trailing. So the simplest sort of like level one is just look at the other colors and the other size variations for whatever it is that you're already looking at. For this, make sure you are selecting this color. And swimsuits sell year round. I've seen people complain about this. Like I sent someone a lead one time and it was a swimsuit, and then they started like, I don't know, they started ranting and you're like, I can't believe you would send me this. Like, why would I buy a swimsuit right now? This doesn't sell. This is a horrible lead. Why would you ever include this in something? And I was trying to explain to them, like, you need to turn that part of your brain off because there is empirical hard data that we can use to see if something is selling. What is that data? That data is Keepa. So I'm going to pull this out to last year, and we're going to look in October, November, December, January, February. Is this product still selling? Yes. How do I know it's still selling? Because look at that sales rank. It's moving all over the place. It looks like a Chicago skyline, and that means it's phenomenal. Okay? So it is selling, and that's good. That's really all you need to know. How much is it selling? It doesn't matter. You're only going to get one or two of these, so it doesn't. You're never going to be going deep on something like this. You're not trying to get 100 units and see like, okay, how fast is 100 units going to sell? No, you're just getting one or two units. Will 1 or 2 units sell in the next 2 or 3 months? Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay. All right, so there we know that it's selling. Here, today's price is 106. This is actually the cheapest that it's ever been. And we are currently profitable. So like this is one of those where it has already tanked. Most likely, this is going to go back up to about 130. It's usually 130 the whole rest of the year, 130, 130, 130, 130, 130. For whatever reason today, it's 106. And for whatever reason today, let's see, it's the blue color right here. This blue color is $45. The other colors are not on clearance, but the size 8, the size 12, and the size 14 are all on clearance. So when we come in here, we've got this blue selected, 8, 12, and 14. Well, we've got the 8 and the 12 to choose from. So that the 12 is 106. I didn't put 8 on the list, but 8 should also be profitable if our buy cost is $45.50. Let's put that in here. All right, we'll wait for a second. There we go. $45.50. So, and remember, this is for the cheaper one. This is for the one I didn't even put this one on the list. I think the other one is a better find, but you can get both. Okay, so always do this type of rabbit trailing. For this particular one, it was a very simple, easy rabbit trailing. All we did was look for the other size. Now, what should you then do? Keep looking for other similar stuff. Are there other miracle suits on sale? Are there other swimsuits on Dillard's for sale? The answer is yes. Yes, there are. There's a lot. Okay. So yeah, make sure to select that color. Yeah, because only one color is on sale. Swimsuits do sell year round. How do we get to this? I checked my email for clearance sales that are happening right now. There's a couple different email aggregators out there. You can use QuickFlips has an email aggregator. Scan, what is it? Chris Grant has one that's free. SalesGazer, where it's basically, it just compiles all the junk mail into one place, so I don't have to get that to my own personal email. Okay, so we're using that big email aggregator to get these. We saw a sale on clearance swimsuits. I was like, all right, well, I know from experience that swimsuits sell year round, so let me check that out. And sure enough, they were very, very, very profitable. Okay. All right, next, I kept rabbit trailing around Dillard's, as you should be doing, around that website, and I used the Keepa variations to view specifics. Okay, so this is one. I'll pull up this, and we'll pull up this. An easy way to view variations of a product and sort of compare, like, okay, what sizes are selling, what are the different price points for everything, is to, again, scroll down here to this Keepa tab. and you can organize it by however you want. You can organize it by things that have the most ratings, which usually implies the most sales. You can organize it by the buy box cost or the new cost. Okay, you can specifically look for sizes or colors. So like here, we've got, so the gray is not on sale, but the this salt wash black, salt wash chino, and salt wash navy are all on sale. So when we go in here, let's see, salt wash, was white one of them? No, it's gray, chino, and navy. So here is the navy right there, $70 for the 6.5. Now, what sizes do we have? We've got 7, 8, and 8.5. Okay, so you can you can go through here and quickly analyze, what am I looking at? Which ones should I be picking up? Which ones can I pick up? And are those ones worth picking up? And it's all just right here, right in the Keepa tab. You don't need to use any other fancy tools for this. There's some tools that can do this, but honestly, I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm just looking here in the Keepa section. That one's selling $50 a month. You see right there, the size 12. Now we've just got smaller sizes here, but this is how I was able to quickly sort of navigate through this listing and find exactly which ones I personally liked. And I put one here on the list for you. Okay. Yeah, tons of rabbit trailing options here. There are multiples of these that are good and profitable. Just always double check that you can sell these products. Every account has different gatings and ungatings. Every account, sometimes you'll get automatically ungated. Sometimes you have to use invoices. Sometimes you're aged in. Sometimes you're not. So everything is different. Always, always, always double check that you personally are unrestricted for things. Yeah, that's just best practice. Is it profitable? Is it selling? And then can I sell it? You always check those 3 things. All right. Next on our list, we've got this. So remember, I said I wanted to use like a variety of different methods that we're going to be diving into during sourcing camp. So for this one, use tactical arbitrage to really like laser focus in my search for unsexy products on an unsexy website. I think it's really easy to get into this trap of being like, man, I've got to get ungated in Under Armour, or I've got to get ungated in these beauty products or whatever, because that's what all the people on Instagram are selling. So like, I know that that's really good. And you can, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's a lot of 7-figure, in fact, most of the 7-figure businesses I know sell clothing and shoes. But there's more than one way to make $1 million on Amazon. There's a million ways to make $1 million in my opinion, okay? So I wanted to look for something that was off the beaten path. It was unsexy. People wouldn't really find this on their own. Like, this isn't going to be a product where you're like in Lowe's scanning the like outlet attachment industrial plug aisle manually and finding this. It's just, this is so, it's a niche of a niche of a niche of a niche. And I really liked it. Okay. So, and it's also actually selling pretty well for what this is. Yeah, we're pretty much always priced here at about 60. Every once in a while it drops down there to like 40, but that's the exception, not the rule. So we're usually priced here at about 60. We can buy this for $20.52. Okay. So $20.52 there. We'll put this in here, $20.52. We are over 100% ROI, $24 profit. So I really like this. This is not going to be something that you see people talk about. You can't really make good YouTube videos about selling industrial plugs. It just doesn't get clicks. People don't care about this. But there's so many businesses that are built on selling these normal, basic, everyday items. I mean, I actually, so I know a guy in the Amazon space who has an 8-figure Amazon business, and all he does is sell those number stickers. That is like 100% of his business. Like, you drive past a car lot, like a used car place, and it says like, oh, $17.99, no money down. The stickers that they're putting on the windshield, that is the only thing that this guy sells. And he's built an 8-figure business just around selling these stickers. He's not manufacturing the stickers, he's reselling the stickers. So yeah, there's so much money to be made in some of these unsexy products. And there's so many ways to find them. So for this, for example, use tactical arbitrage. We're going to be diving into a lot of really cool tactical arbitrage tricks during sourcing camp. Okay. All right, so there's that. Oh, and then a couple other notes about this. Listing against Amazon. So there's always people who are like, oh, but Nate, you forgot Amazon was on the listing. Don't you need to check XYZ? No, not really. You don't really need to check XYZ, especially again, if you're just getting a couple units, doesn't really matter. If you're getting a lot of units, sure, dive into the data a little bit further if you're getting like a whole pallet of this. But if you're just getting a couple to test the waters, I will sell against Amazon all day, every day. I mean, most of my inventory that I have at Amazon competes against Amazon. And I get plenty of sales. Like we've built a 7-figure business and I don't care. Like this isn't even when I train a new employee, like if I'm training a virtual assistant or a shopper or anything like that, this is not even a line that I discuss with them. It's not a bullet point. It's not a lesson. It's nothing. Like I do not care that Amazon is on this listing. In fact, I would almost go so far as to say, I like when Amazon is on the listing because it means so many other people who have been taught this fallacy that, oh, you can't compete against Amazon. They'll never share the buy box. You'll never get any sales. People who teach that have stopped me from having very much competition. So when I jump on these listings, I'm usually the only one on there or one of the only two. Okay. So always double check that you can sell things. This is not a super fast seller. So like everyone who's watching this, I mean, there's not enough sales to get everyone who's watching this sales. But in reality, most of the people watching this aren't going to buy these. And for the most part, you shouldn't be buying leads that are shared in like this open forum because you know there's going to be other people who are jumping on it as well. But for the couple people who are like, I don't care, I'm going to go against the grain, I'm going to do it anyways, those couple sellers are going to make money. I do apologize if my fire alarms start going off. I heard a beep here. I'm a little bit worried that my kids are burning the house down. We'll see if this plays out. All right. Okay, so that was from Lowe's. Listing in Amazon is 100% okay in almost all scenarios. It's not a fast seller, but it's so small. There's almost no storage fees. Like you could leave this at Amazon for 6 months. It doesn't matter. Yeah, storage fees are negligible, and you could even do this FBM. Like you could leave this in your garage and just package it up, and if somebody buys it, ship it out. All right. Just always double check that you are ungated. Okay. All right. This next one. So similar to above, I wanted to find something unsexy. Okay. But this time, instead of a slower seller, I set some parameters in tactical arbitrage to find some faster sellers, but still trying to look for some of these like unsexy items from unsexy places. Okay, so here we go again. Let's see here. I'll pull this up here. For this one, I was able to match the UPC. So there's like some slight discrepancies with the like this manufacturer thing and the title. It's a perfect UPC match, and I couldn't find anything similar that like I couldn't find anything else that fit. Since it's a perfect UPC match, I see here it's 5369 and then 00C. This is 5369C. I'm thinking that on Amazon they just left out the 00. That was my only worry, but it's a perfect UPC match. I would feel comfortable trying this out personally with my own account. And if you get any issues, you have that UPC from this website, from your order confirmation, where anything that comes along, you'll be able to fight. Okay. All right. So for this, our buy cost, this is on clearance here at Farm and Fleet for $388. So we're gonna put $388 in there. Selling for $13.50. Okay. Only $3 of profit, but it's almost 100% ROI. And this is selling in the past 30 days. It has sold 100 plus times. So between 100 and 199 times. And that is not an estimation. We know that with 100% certainty, this is coming directly from Amazon. Okay. So again, Amazon is selling it. Do I care? No, I don't care. Also, we're not really like, I mean, the buy box is usually going to somebody else. Amazon's rarely holding the buy box anyways. So yeah, we can sell this for $13.50 all day, every day. If you're one of those people who are like, man, but I really want to make sure that Amazon is sharing the buy box. I'm going to explain further during sourcing camp why that concept just doesn't work. Like the concept of one person having the entire buy box, the data is just imperfect and it doesn't exist. But if you want, you can pull up the buy box statistics and you can actually see Amazon only has technically, according to this, 5%. Now take that with a big old grain of salt. I put very little worth or value into this page right here, but there are people out there that do. We'll be talking about that in Sourcing Camp more in depth, but you can see here, plenty of these people get plenty of sales. When you go to the offers tab, you can look at the stock that they have. So the 1,000 and then 999 and down, down, down. Like these people are selling out. You don't get jumps like this in your inventory. It doesn't stair step down if you're not getting sales. So this is selling a lot, 100 plus times a month. So I did match the UPC. Again, just trying to find some unsexy stuff for you. All right, moving on. We've got this from Michael's. Are you guys still with me so far? Have I lost you yet? Have I made anybody angry, or have I maybe challenged something that you thought, like maybe you thought, oh, I can't compete against Amazon? All right, we doing good so far? Someone's trying to list generic. Yeah, you can't list on generic listings. If the brand is called generic, you can't list on it. Amazon's been cracking down on that. The people who are currently on the listing will be sort of slowly getting kicked out, and you can't jump on. So on everything that you're trying to list, that would mean that everything that you've been trying to list has been generic, and stop trying to list that stuff. All right. Here we go. Next up, we have something from Michael's. You guys, yeah, if we have any crafters here, this is one of those stores where like I started to go to it more in the past year or two. My wife's been doing more like crafting stuff, DIY projects around the house. So I'm in there more often. And it's like, oh, you know, they actually do have quite a few good like stackable coupons and almost sale plans where it's like there's replenishable products, but only when they have these coupons or only when they're on sale. Okay. So I got an email that there is 20% off today, pretty much off of everything. So I checked my old lead lists for items and brands. Now, we could do, in fact, we probably will be doing an entire video about how to search and scrape your own personal old lead lists. There's really cool software that can help with that. There's some other manual ways that you can sort of do this as well. But I checked my old lead lists for Michael's, and I went into it knowing that whatever the price on these things say, I could probably get it about 20% less, okay? So the previous item that I checked, it was no longer profitable, but I checked the other variations. Remember, always do this rabbit trailing. Level 1, it's easy. Just check the other colors, okay? So I went in here, I checked the other colors. The color that was on my old lead list from ages ago, no longer profitable. But this new color was. So we've got that there. Let's see, Michael's there. And there we go. Exit out some of these windows so our computer doesn't slow down on us. It's not generic. It's a branded product. Well, but I'm not saying like the product actually is generic, and that's the problem. It's that on Amazon, it's branded as generic, and that's what Amazon doesn't want. They don't want real products that have real brands to be called generic on Amazon. You can share the ASIN if you want. Maybe someone can help with it. But I mean, I haven't seen that pop up in error. Every time I've ever seen that pop up, it's because you're trying to list on something where the brand. So like you see here, the brand is Deco Art. This brand would say generic on yours. Or it should, unless there's something real funky going on. All right. So yeah, so we've got this pink one here. And this is the pink one down here. There are a couple of these colors that are profitable. I'm not going to talk any more about them because I want to give the sort of the students that really want to get ahead. Just had a link to buy it again. I was supposed to get a link to, where do I go for camp? If you shoot me a message, Linda, either on Facebook or elsewhere, I can get you taken care of. Or if you just log in, you should have made an email account and made an account. If you log into hustlebuddiesofficial.com, you should see it listed in your course area, and you'll see links for where you need to go from there. But there's a couple, you have like a course area, and then there's the community area where all the videos are going to be happening. So you'll need to go to a couple places. You can shoot me a message if you're confused. I'm happy to help walk you through that. All right, so come on. I don't know why this is taking forever. So yeah, we see here 20% off all regularly priced stuff. So this is regularly priced. It's $5.99 as regularly, but we're gonna input our coupon. So $5.99, multiply that by 0.8. That is 20% off. And this is very profitable, all right? Make sure you are packaging this correctly. They call it gripper tape, where it's this special seal that just holds down caps. If it requires polybagging, polybag it, all of that stuff. This should require polybagging since it is a liquid. Sometimes Amazon misses things. I would recommend polybagging it either way, but gripper tape over the top and then polybag it, then put your sticker on there. But really consistent price. It kind of hops between this $16.96 and $18.16, and it's pretty much always done that. So very steady price here. It's pink. I mean, that's not a crazy weird. I mean, I wouldn't say any paint color is really weird. Like, you're gonna use every paint color for something. So, yeah, people are buying this. Maybe not as common as like brown or white, but they're definitely buying the pink color. So we've got it here, and there are multiple colors here that are also profitable. Okay. All right. Oh, and then just make sure the other things, sometimes people are like, oh, but like, you're not accounting for shipping. No, I'm not. You really shouldn't be either. All of your purchases, I mean, maybe not all, 99% of your online purchases, you should be getting free shipping on. All you have to do is purchase over whatever their threshold is. So for this, as long as you're purchasing over $49, which you should easily be able to find here on Michael's, then you're good to go. Okay. All right, so there's the Michael's one. Next, we moved on to Joann's. All right, so outside of those paints, I couldn't find anything. Now, you are more than welcome. Search where I wasn't searching. Admittedly, I was probably on here for maybe 20 minutes before I was like, all right, I'm gonna move on to another website just because I'm trying to put something like this together. But if you are sourcing for yourself, spend a long time on these websites. Really dig in, really do a thorough job of checking all the stuff, okay? In my 20 minutes or however long I spent looking around, I couldn't find anything else outside of those good paints. So I checked to see if similar, like competitor stores had similar coupons going on. So Michael's, there's Joann's, and there's Hobby Lobby. Those are all three competitors. So I go over to Joann's, check them. We've got this here. All right, this is one of those, I think I even I noted this. Yeah, this is the quintessential stocking stuffer. When I think, okay, what is my mom going to try to buy my kids when I say that they really love color? Like my 6-year-old girl, she loves coloring. That is her thing right now. She'll just spend hours and hours and hours. So if I tell my mom that, what is something that my mom is gonna see and she'll be like, oh, Ava will just love that. This is exactly that thing. This is a quintessential stocking stuffer as we move into Q4. Those things that they're small, cheap, whatever, stuff them in your stockings. And this is going to sell like crazy during Christmas time, okay? So we've got this here. It is $4. However, Joann's has this deal going on. If you purchase 85 or more, you get 10% off. If you purchase 100 more, you get 15. If you purchase 150 or more, you get 20% off. So ideally, you're purchasing over 150. And as long as it's also over 75, which all of these things are, then you also get free shipping. Now, there's also cash back on top of this. So you can see here, Rakuten in the top right corner, you can also get 5% back. So this just more stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks. All right. So quintessential stocking stuffer. This should be a great FBM item. It will likely tank a bit further, but that's okay. We've got a lot of room here. So let's put in some buy cost information here. So we are buying this for $3.99. I'm going to assume that we can get that 20% off by purchasing over $150. So I'm going to multiply that by 0.8. All right. And then if we really want to get fancy with it, we're going to multiply that by 0.95 to get 5% off. Okay. So all in, it's about $3, a little bit over $3. We're looking at 92% ROI, $2.77 profit. It's currently selling 50 times per month, and this is going to skyrocket during Q4. It has not, this did not exist last Q4, so we don't have the data for that. But currently, this is selling phenomenally well. Now, I do see the number of sellers has been trending upwards. When the number of sellers trends upwards, the price will trend downwards. We know this. It's the law of supply and demand. You don't need to make a Facebook post complaining about all the price tankers. It's just, this is how the world works. It's the law of supply and demand, not the theory of supply and demand. 100% of the time, this is how it works. So yeah, but in conjunction with there being more sellers, part of that supply and demand is the demand is also going to be going up. All right, so if this was purchased 50 times in the last month, we've got this person here for $11.59. They have 8 in stock, 5 in stock. So we're at, what is that? 13, 20. Wait, no, 18. We jump up a little bit. We'll call this 27, and then this person jumps up to like $11. So these, I don't even know if these would be buy box eligible. So you have about 20 something that are currently sort of in that buy box rotation, and 50 are selling per month. And that is going to continue to skyrocket as we go towards Q4. And as all of these grandparents think like, oh my gosh, this 6-year-old girl would love these pastel crayons for Christmas. Yeah, this is going to be a really fast mover. I think it'll do really well FBM. Your FBM shipping costs should be $3.50, I think is reasonable. I might do that closer to $4. It's just, this is super cheap to ship. All right. If our buy cost is $3.03, we'll run the numbers there for FBM. Yeah, similar numbers here. Really good profit, really great seller. All in all, I liked it a lot. All right. Okie dokie. So for the next product, yeah, I continued manually rabbit trailing on Joann's. Here, I'll pull up, let me pull up these products so we get them loading first. I continued manually rabbit trailing around Joann's. I was kind of checking like, okay, are there any other like subsequent either like sales, or they don't do like coupon stacking, but there are things that go on sale that then you can also use a coupon for. So it stacks in that sense. So kept digging around a little bit, and I was using a tool that is newer to me. I've been using this for a couple of weeks now, about a month maybe, but it's called the Quick Finds extension. I'm going to be talking about this more in Sourcing Camp and more how to utilize it. It's a cool tool, but let me show you how this works and how I was manually sourcing this specifically on Joann's. Okay, so these sewing notions, I don't know what a sewing notion is. I know the word sewing and I know the word notions. I do not know those two words in conjunction. I do not know what sewing notions are. Context clues tells me it's tools for sewing. I don't know anything beyond that. Now, the cool part is I can turn on this Quick Finds extension. And this will, once this page loads, unless we're getting a little error here, we should, maybe I'll turn it off, turn it back on. We should see below these products, yep, there we go, this blue bar start popping up. This is going to manually search either the UPC or the name or both. It's gonna search everything that's on my page. I don't have to like copy and paste anything. There's lots of tools that I've been using to do like reverse sourcing like this, where I can kind of copy paste, and go back and forth. This, it crashed and then reloaded. This does that for me. But it does it directly on my page. Yeah, this is not cooperating right at the moment here with Joann's while I'm also trying to stream a video. So it does take a decent amount of like your computer's bandwidth to do this, because it's literally searching everything on your page as you're looking at it. Yeah, you saw it there just for a split second. I apologize that that's not showing any better here. But I'll turn it off so we can actually get through the video. But yeah, so literally like this very first one, the 6-inch sliding marker sewing gauge, whatever. Very first one. Now that's a pretty cheap price. $8.88, but our buy cost is also super, super cheap. So this is a $239 base price. We'll put 239 in there. But if you are getting enough stuff from Joann's, you can get this at 20% off. So I'm going to multiply that by 0.8. And then if you want to include the Rakuten, multiply by 0.95. All right. The buy cost is closer, really, in actuality, to $2.04. All right. So even though this is only selling for $8.88, we're making 150% ROI or $3, over $3 profit on this. And this is another one flying off the shelf, 100 plus units selling every month. Every once in a while, Amazon comes in stock and they kind of bottom out the price. This is one of those situations where if I had scanned this back here, let's say, when Amazon was just consistently on it for $239, I wouldn't have jumped on it back here, not because Amazon is on the listing, but because the buy box was $2.39. Now, ever since July, Amazon can't keep this in stock. There's just too many selling and not enough people in stock. So yeah, we can see here all time Amazon has usually had it, but there have definitely been times where they just can't keep this in stock and the price jumps. Ever since July, the price has been up here and it's still been selling well. So I feel pretty good about this, that it should continue. And actually, even when Amazon was in stock for $239 and they had that buy box there, there's still 9 sellers on it. Why would there be all these sellers on this product if none of them were making sales? Like right here, you see there's 9 new offers and then 10 new offers and then 9 new offers. And it starts going down here. All right. How would this be happening if no one was making sales? So even though this says Amazon has had the buy box this whole time and they've been at this cheaper price, even then, I still know people were making sales. Look, it goes 10 sellers, 9 sellers, 8 sellers, 9 sellers, 8 sellers, 9 sellers, 8 sellers, 9 sellers, 8, 9, 8, 8, 8, 9. I had to keep bumping back and forth. That's only happening because people are selling out of this. Okay. Sports seller buyers just under 500. It kind of depends, Matt. If these are they? Is it FBM or FBA? Sometimes it goes through that. Ooh, great question, Alvin. Deco art is on the listing. Isn't that risky? Yes and no. So usually, this is something I usually tell beginners. If a brand is on the listing, stay off the listing. That's just generally good rule of thumb, stay off the listing. This is one of those where, where's this Deco listing here? This is one of those where it's good that you noticed it because you should be always checking that. But that doesn't, as you gain experience, that does not mean that you cannot sell it. We see here, there are other sellers on this. You could actually even pull up the other variations. So I'll let this go for just a second. I think this only had a couple sellers on it. Yeah, there's 4, 5 new offers. So first thing I see, there's 5 new offers. All right, so clearly this brand isn't fighting dirty. They're not filing IP complaints and all of that stuff constantly against other sellers. There's no IP warning that I got for this at all. And when I look at the other variations, one of the things that I can see here is the new offer count. There are plenty of people. There's 8 people, 7 people. There's plenty of people that are on these listings. So it was great that you noticed that, Alvin. And generally for a beginner, that is what I say. Avoid it if the brand is on it. This is one of those where we're getting out of being beginners, and that's part of sourcing camp. Sourcing camp, like, it's I hate it when people are like, they try to ask like, okay, what box does this fit in? Is this for beginners or is this for advanced sellers? I just say it's for serious sellers. I'm gonna assume that you have your account set up and you know how to ship stuff and all that. We're not covering that. I'm not gonna teach you how to like set up your Amazon account. I've got some free guides and stuff. If you are there, I'll throw some free guides and stuff like that. But that's not what Sourcing Camp is about. Sourcing Camp is about growing and getting better at sourcing. And we have a lot of 7-figure sellers who are coming to Sourcing Camp to learn more ways to source. There are also small sellers coming who want to just learn how to source, period. But everyone is going to be learning something. So we sort of go in with, if you were a beginner before, you're no longer going to be a beginner once we get through this. So we're going to talk about some more advanced strategies. But I love that you noticed that. That's awesome. And that's sort of my thought process behind why is this safe. Okay? Sorry, not right now. I'm on video. All right. Where were we? We just finished Joann's. Yeah, for the rabbit trailing. Okay. Next. I went to Academy, went through their Under Armour clearance section, and I was using that same quick finds extension on Academy. Maybe it'll play a little bit nicer over here. Let me try this once again to try to show you guys just briefly what it looks like. It's a really cool tool. We've got some discounts and stuff if you guys are interested in trying it out. We'll have some discounts there for Sourcing Camp folks. So here, let me exit out to this and try, hopefully, to show you what this looks like. So I'll turn this on, and it should start pulling the stuff up. Yeah, it might be because I'm just on video, and it's just not, it's still thinking here. Yeah, it's just not playing nice right at the moment, which is unfortunate, but that's all right. That's what I used. I'll still tell you this. Like this is how I'm finding this stuff. All right. So ran quick finds on Under Armour clearance at Academy. I found one that matched up. You'll see in Sourcing Camp what I'm talking about, but it matched up. But it was kind of so-so. Like it wasn't quite profitable, but it was decent enough where I clicked on it and I wanted to check the other variations. So I went in, checked the other variations to see if I could find one that was a little bit better. So note here, always, 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 rabbit trail, check the other sizes, check the other colors. So we've got this and this. So I believe it's selling, it was like 22 bucks and some change. Yeah, 22.48 there, unless you have the Academy credit card. I don't, so I don't include that. Credit cards get a little bit funky when you get that many credit cards, but 22.48 should be about your buy cost. And whoops, I clicked the wrong link. That's for the next product. All right, 22.48. Yeah, Matt, sometimes that just happens. There's nothing that you can do about that issue with Amazon, like trying to verify the customers and not putting out payment. There's literally absolutely nothing that you can do in that situation. So my advice is to not stress out about it and focus on what you can control. Focus on your other income producing tasks, since worrying about it or stressing about it or trying to figure out what's going on is useless, because there is no way to figure out what's going on, and there's no way for you to fix it. It's entirely between Amazon and the customer. All right, so 22.48, I believe. This is selling for just about 60, so $20 profit, almost 90% ROI, and this is selling real fast. A BSR of 3,000 in clothing. This is selling a lot. All right. So yeah, the price has spiked a little bit. So I like to look at best case, worst case. I'd say worst case is probably this like $40. Medium case is 50. Best case is 60. So let's run all three. So my absolute worst case, this tanks down to like the lowest that it's been for most of the year. We make a little bit of money. I don't like this, but it's okay as sort of our worst case. The normal case scenario, I think for a lot of the time, it's been $49.99. This is solid. This is one that I would be buying based on the median, based on that $49 price point. Our best case scenario, what it's going for right now, this is what I hope to get for it. Phenomenal. All right. So those are sort of the three. It's high reward, low risk, because what are we risking? We are risking only making $2. And that's not really, to me, that's not really a risk. Okay. So I like that one. There's a couple different colors and sizes that you can choose from there. But I will let you guys rabbit trail into that if you are ungated in Under Armour. All right. Next up. Use more tools. Remember, I'm trying to use like a variety of different tools, different methods, all things that we're going to be doing both in these 15 days of sourcing, and also I'll be diving deep into a lot of these during Sourcing Camp. All right. So for this next one, I checked Nepto. Nepto is probably my newest favorite tool. It's like a lead aggregator, I guess, for lack of a better term. It's similar to tactical arbitrage, but it doesn't go quite as deep. But it's so much simpler and faster. It's a really, really, really cool tool. I definitely recommend trying it. I'm going to be doing a couple sessions about this during Sourcing Camp for how to utilize it best. But check Nepto. It's an online arbitrage deal auto scanner. It just scans every website basically. That's a part of it constantly, 24 hours a day. It's always scanning websites. And if anything on any of those websites ever becomes profitable, it adds it to its list. So there's like hundreds of thousands of products in Nepto. And every time you log in, it just shows you a random list of 10 random things that it's found in the past 2 days. And everyone's list is different. It's a really cool feature. So there's not a whole lot of tanking going on with this because everyone's list is different. So really cool stuff. Anyways, I'm not here trying to sell it. I'm just talking about the different tools I've used and the different methods. Okay. Best case, worst case, and fine. Let's pull this up. So we've it's this from Boscov's, which is a great site. If you have not done any OA from Boscov's, I recommend it. It's a solid place to do online arbitrage. All right. So we've got this 20 bucks. A couple different sizes are available there. So we know going into this, as long as they're all the black, it's all the black ones. I am new. What items will be auto ungated? That every account is different. So I can't just say, oh, these things will be automatically ungated. Now, what I can say is, one, not everything is gated. Many things are. This is true, but there is a heck of a lot of stuff that isn't. Once you start putting in the hours to find it, this sort of like ungating issue, that is the first barrier to entry for being an Amazon seller. That's the very, like, assuming that you've gone through the steps to actually make the account and all of that stuff, that ungating issue alone, I'd say 90% of people quit because they feel like everything is gated and they don't push through that feeling and they don't get past that and they don't learn how to work around it and they quit. If you can get around that, you're golden. That's like the absolute biggest barrier to entry when starting is feeling like everything is gated and that you can't sell anything. And it's learning what is ungated and how to get around it. 2 tips for beginners. The category of clothing is completely ungated and many brands of bras are ungated. So I have a whole class going over Kohl's and flipping stuff from Kohl's, and a lot of that is bras. It's so easy for beginners to do because almost none of it is restricted. Books are another easy one to start with. There's very few books that are restricted. But there is definitely stuff out there that is ungated. I would say about 70% of the stuff that I sell is ungated for everybody from day one. Like you don't even have to get auto ungated. It's just open. All right, so we've got this here. Our buy cost was $19.99 before any coupons or cashbacks or anything like that. How are we looking? We're looking great. Okay, let's check the history on this. So I see today it is at sort of like our median high point. It's been this $55 price point a couple times. It has also been about $50-ish, $48, $50 a couple times. It's also gone down to like $35, $40 a couple times, okay? So I'm gonna do like best case, medium case, worst case. Best case, we can sell this for 55, medium, 48. Worst case, buy box here was 40, okay? So our best case is 50, we get 100% ROI. Actually, I'm not even gonna do medium case. What's our worst case scenario? Our worst case scenario is making $7 and 37% ROI. That's a great worst case. Like that's, my worst case is still something that I probably would have purchased anyways, even during that worst case scenario. So I really like listings like this. I feel like they're safe buys, all right? So this is also selling well. There's only one color, so the only variations here are these size variations. There's tons of ratings. This has been around for ages and ages and ages. A decent sales rank for a clothing category with no color variations. So there's only, about 10 different things right here that you can pick from. So really solid stuff. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's why it's here on the list for you guys. All right, I kept going with that. So using Nepto, but rabbit trailed into the variations to find my favorite. All right, let me check here. I forget what I was mentioning here. Peter on YouTube, while this is loading, he asks, when using AZ Insight on Amazon, is the data displayed for the exact variation of the product you have selected in the multiple variations? Which part of the data? The estimated sales is for the entire listing. The sale price and the fee data and the model, like this stuff, that is specific to the child ASIN. where sales rank, like this estimated monthly sales, as well as sales rank, and sales rank is always, that is indicative of the parent ASIN. It's of everything combined. But even that's something like I think people put too much weight in that, especially if you're a beginner. When beginners kind of ask that question, I get it. I mean, I ask those same things as a beginner, but I challenge beginners to think wide instead of deep. And if you're thinking wide, then it doesn't really matter. Like, can you, the difference between an item selling 100 per month and 10 per month is irrelevant if you only have one of those items. You only need to make one sale. It doesn't matter if it's sold 100 times or 10 times. You're going to make your one sale as long as you're priced competitively within that buy box. All right. So historical price looks pretty good. It dropped a little bit back there in July, but not bad. Okay. It's a sandal, so it doesn't sell as well during Q4, but we're looking historically. Does it sell period during Q4? Yeah. October, November, December. This still actually in December, right after December, this sold well even. So probably people were buying this with their gift cards, or maybe they're going on vacation. Let's say you live up in Michigan and you're coming down here to Florida, and you're doing like a Christmas vacation in Florida trip. Well, where the heck are you gonna find sandals? They don't sell sandals at the store. You can't find this at your local Target or whatever. Like there are no sandals at the store in the middle of December if you live in Michigan. That's not something that stores carry. So where do you go to buy it? You go to Amazon. All right, so our buy cost here was another $20. There's the black and the white, lots of different sizes that you can pick from there. Run the data there. All right, so very profitable, very profitable. Even if this tanks down here back to like the 40s, even actually the 30s, I think we're all right. But I'll put in the 30s. This is, yeah, that's where we start to lose it. But what you can do here is like go through the different variations and see, okay, like which ones do I like? What was this doing last year? Was the price high last year? And yeah, it was, because there weren't a whole lot of people that had this in stock, because you couldn't really buy this. Once winter started, it was kind of set. Or if you could only buy it for 55. You couldn't buy it profitably. So right now is a great time to get some of these like end of summer items that do continue to sell year round, because I expect this price to stay decently high. If it drops down, are we going to pretty much be at a break even? Yeah, you lose maybe $1 if it drops all the way down to 30, but it's usually, we see during most of this time, it was even 40. So I think more than likely, if this tanks, I think you could still sell it for 40, and this would still be a good flip. All right. So a reasonable risk, like the upside downside, where's the floor of this, where's the ceiling of that? I think that's a reasonable risk. I think 40 is about as low as I would go, and I could sell that within 6 months or so. If you had to sell out and liquidate it, you could get 30 for it and pretty much be at a break even. So that's, again, pretty low risk. All right, moving on. Okay, for this one, I went back to Yankee Candle, and I ran it through a KPF filter, a Keepa Product Finder filter, for a sub-brand that I saw on Yankee Candle, since they had a big sale on them. All right, I'll show you what I mean. And for this one, instead of linking the product, I have linked and given you guys a link to the exact Keepa search that I did for this, because I thought that would be helpful for anyone who's trying to rabbit trail. Okay, so here is the end product, or one of the many end products that we found. Here is the Keepa filter, and I will tell you just straight up, almost everything that you see here is $8.50 on Yankee Candle right now. They're just running this big like blowout sale on these Aromascape candle things. $8.50 for basically every single one that I saw. All right, so you can kind of just go down this list, and if it's $8.50, I mean, you can just kind of eyeball this. 8.5 into 21, it's selling 50 plus times per month. I think that one is probably good. You get a little iffy once you get down here to like 16. This one might be a little bit profitable. I doubt this one would probably be just about a break even. If you're $8.50 selling it for 17, it's probably about a break even. But this one and above should be good. And you can also search for other things. Like you can search for, okay, like are there 2 packs of these? Like maybe this, for example, it has a crappy rating, but That's because nobody is selling it. You can't, like, sales rank is where does this item rank in relation to all of the products in that category? And of course, something ranks horribly if it's impossible to buy. It's not that people wouldn't buy it or that they aren't buying. I mean, they aren't, but that's not the reason. The reason is because people can't buy it, and you never know, they might want to buy it. This has 1,000 ratings on it. So if you came on and you offered this 2-pack, say for here, our buy cost for this, it was 8.5 times 2, because there's 2 of these. All right, so we are looking at $17. If you try to sell this for, say, I don't know, low end of $35, what are we looking at here? You make a little bit of money. You can sell this for 40 reasonably, make good money. You could probably, since everyone is sold out of it, you could probably command a higher price. You could probably sell this for 50 and even make that. Like, there's so many options here that you can go through using this Keepa product finder search that I sent. So I sent you guys that search. Instead of linking the exact product, I thought it'd be helpful to just link that search. And as a part of Sourcing Camp, I have created a ton of Keepa presets and Keepa filters and like pre-made templates that you can just plug and play. Like, just click this button and it pulls up this search where you will find stuff that it's selling, and also that you can find to flip profitably. And it's already, like, we've already put those together for you, done for you. And I will be explaining how to create those in the breakout sessions. All right. So tons of great options here. Again, you can absolutely list against Amazon. No issues there. Cover that. Okay. This one, yeah, so I did some more Keepa product finder filters for this, and I was looking for this half-gallon jug to see if I could find any outliers, because a lot of times with some of these, I'll see it with Yeti, I'll see it with, there's a couple other brands, Stanley is another one, where like they just kind of have this cult following, and certain colors will be discontinued and go out of production, and the price just skyrockets because no one can find it, and the only place to get it is on Amazon, and you have to pay a premium if you want that specific. If you want your favorite color, you are going to pay the premium tax for that. Okay. So this one right here, we see it on Ace Hardware. I believe it's $100 from Ace Hardware. So it's like, it's not even on sale, but on Amazon here, we see that it is selling. Yeah, no featured offers right now. So the buy box is suppressed because Amazon's like, oh, we don't want the bad PR. But customers are still buying it. They can still get it. It's going for 170, I believe, if I remember correctly. Give this a second to load. Yeah, 175 actually. All right. So if we buy this for 100, and that's before any like good discounts or cash back, anything like that, you can probably find a place that has some cash back and sweeten this up a little bit. But I mean, that's good. 40% ROI, just under $40 profit on each one of these. Okay. And it's consistently been this price, 180 actually, 175, 180, 180. Yeah, every once in a while it drops back down to 25 for just a little bit, but it keeps popping up back up here to this like 175 to 180. And when you check the Yeti website, this color is nowhere to be found. So it appears that this is either like a spring or a summer color that they've just phased out, or that it's a discontinued color and they're no longer making it at all. Because I couldn't find it on any major websites. The only place I was finding this was at weird, like, why are you going to Ace Hardware to buy like these fancy Yeti colors? It's just an odd place to get like high-end fancy camping gear. For me, I don't know. I don't think of going to Ace Hardware to get a Yeti giant water bottle. That's not something that comes to mind. I think of going to Ace Hardware to get hardware. But the only places I could find this was at these sort of strange places to find it, which is why I think there's a decent chance that it has been discontinued. Okay, so that is the list that I've created. But wait, there's more. We are not done yet. I told you guys that as a part, both from these 15 days of sourcing, but also in Sourcing Camp, we will be doing quite a bit of Amazon to Amazon flipping. This is slightly different than your standard retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, because instead of buying it from a website like Kohl's or like Ace Hardware or wherever, we are buying it from Amazon. As long as you do not use your Prime shipping, you don't use your Prime benefits for this, you are fully TOS compliant. This is not against the rules. In fact, Amazon has started, maybe you've seen that, like for getting ungated and stuff, Amazon has started to include a little line item where it's like, if you're sending us an Amazon online order invoice, please include 50 units or whatever it says. Not only has that been around for a while, but they have started to send out a special form, a button that you click when you get like an IP complaint or an inauthentic complaint, anything like that. There's often on many of these, there's a little button that you can check for if you purchase this item from Amazon. And then you just input your order number right there and boom, problem is solved. I would almost argue that this is safer than even wholesale. Like it's 100% of my Amazon invoices or receipts, whatever you want to call it, have been accepted. And I can't say the same for any other method of sourcing stuff. Now, everything can be accepted eventually. You just have to kind of fight them over it. But like, I don't have to fight Amazon over these. They know. It's just like, it's sort of become this standardized thing. All right. Now, we're going to start a fresh search here. We use our sourcing camp preset. So we're going to do just a little bit of Amazon to Amazon flipping. This is where I'm buying something from Amazon and I'm flipping it right back onto Amazon. What am I looking for? I'm going to move my face to the side a little bit so that you can see the bottom right hand of my screen. As I hover over these products, I'm looking for a Keepa graph that pops up. And I am looking for something where the normal price, the normal line is X amount. Like this, for example, normally this sells for, on the low end, about 40, on the high end, about 60. That's what I'm looking for. And today, for whatever reason, it's being sold for $20. So if I buy this for 20 and then I wait 2 days and then I flip it back for 40, I should be able to make some money on it. All right, let's run this through. Let's run the math. Just double check. I'm going to try to find, how much space do we have? I'm going to try to find probably 3, maybe 4 if I've got the time. Find a couple of these. All right, we're just going to flip-flop these around. So we're not trying to sell it for $19.98. We're going to buy it for $19.98, and we are going to sell it. I'll just make things easy. I'm going to use this like average 30-day, average 90-day, whichever one you want. So yeah, 90-day is good. Average 30-day is good. Average 180-day, good. They're all good. All right, so this is a solid flip. I'm going to take this, and I will add this. If you're ungated in Skechers, that should be pretty easy to do. All right. There's no web link because you are buying it from Amazon. The web link is Amazon. You buy it from Amazon. By the time that you get it and you're ready to send it back, then the price has probably already gone back up to where it normally should be. Okay. All right. Let's try to find it. That was literally the very first one. I love it. I'm going to skip a couple of these because they look like private label items. I see that because I see one seller on it and also what the name is. It's just kind of these weird, funky names that I don't recognize. It's a DVD. I mean, the price is good, but it just doesn't sell very well. Last sale on this was back in January of this year. So this hasn't sold in a long time. We're going to pass on that one. Coach, interesting. All right, this usually goes for about 175, it looks like. Today it's 98. This could be interesting. I usually stay away from some of these real high-end shoes and stuff like that, but I mean, if the price is right, if you're making good money on this, I don't see any issues. And again, like if someone says, hey, you sent me a fake Coach, your Amazon invoice works 100% of the time for that. Well, I shouldn't say 100. It'll work 99% of the time. And 1% of the time, you're going to get their overseas worker who doesn't know how this works and deny it for no reason. And then you'll have to fight them a little bit. But all right, let's input this, 98.41. And the average 30-day, oh yeah, that's great. All right. Now I do see, I'm not going to put this on just specifically because Amazon's the only seller and they've only ever been the only seller. So there's a reasonable chance that this specific product is just hard gated and that no one has ever been able to purchase this and find it profitably. Maybe I will, here, I'll put it down below. So like you can try this, see if you can get ungated in it and see if you can flip it. I'll put it down here. I'll hide it so that it doesn't get confusing. So it's down there for you guys. on this master list. But yeah, check if you're ungated in it or if you can get ungated, but I'm not gonna count that because I don't think you'll be able to sell that. All right, it's probably private label, probably private label, probably private label. Same. Can't really do perfume for the most part. Most people can't sell perfume. Ooh, this looks very interesting. This is usually going for 60. For whatever reason, it's going for 23 right now. All right, let's check this. Triple net pricing. This is a third-party seller. It is absolutely fine to purchase from third-party sellers. All of my third-party receipts and invoices, things like that, they are treated no differently by Amazon. They are always accepted. I just want to double check that this is a legitimate person. It's not like an overseas dropshipper who's not going to send me my product. So yeah, plenty of ratings, good reviews. I'm happy with that. I think they're going to send me my product. There is a chance that this is nearing an expiration date, and that's why they're trying to liquidate it out. So this is one I would not go deep on this, but I would purchase like one or two to try it out. If it's close to the expiration date, then, well, you just, I don't know, probably keep it. Get some free coffee that way. But let's switch this around. 23.23, and the normal price, 66. Yeah, 100% ROI. So yeah, this one looks solid to me. It looks like some people are matching them too. Is somebody matching their price? No, it just, no. I'm not sure why it says that. It says they've got 10 in stock, but they're probably hiding their true stock levels if they're this size of a seller. All right, overall, yeah, I think I like that. I'll add that to our list. Again, I don't recommend going deep on food products, at least initially. You want to go light first, check expiration dates, and you can always try to go deep again later, but it's much better to get too few than to be stuck with like 20 products that are all about to expire that you can't flip. All right, New Balance. A lot of people here can sell New Balance. The price doesn't look great. Let's see. Skip ahead. Oxbow. Let's see. Ooh, this looks interesting. $6, and usually it's 15. I like it. Nick, from this deals page, unfortunately, I mean, I've emailed. You can email Keepa as well. If they could just add just a little lever, they have all these other levers over here. There's currently nothing in the deals page where you can filter out the number of FBA sellers. However, there are other ways to do this with the Keepa product finder directly where you can filter that out. So there's multiple ways to use Keepa to do Amazon to Amazon flipping. This is the easiest entry, but there are, I would say, more sort of like laser focused ways to do it that I'll be talking about in Sourcing Camp if you're coming to that. All right, so, ooh, wow, this is 300 plus. What the heck? All right, let's run some numbers on this. 675. All right, and normally this is sold for high end 16, low end 13 and change. Okay, so I'll just do, I'll split the difference, do about 14 and a half. Okay, at 14 and a half, it's okay. It's not great. How heavy are these? 1 ounce. What the heck? Why are people paying $15 for 1 ounce of food? Since it is about 1 ounce, I'm going to flip it over here. So I'll do this 14.82 there and 6.75 there. And this will cost you about $4 to ship. Let's see what it would be. FBM. Wow, exactly the same. Interesting. All right. It's okay. If you could get, I wonder what it did last year. Like if you sell it for that 13, 14, it's meh. But if you sell it for 15, 16, which it has hit, I mean, back here, like January, December, 14, and then it jumped up. There's 16, 17, 17, 17 a lot. This is kind of 50-50. Yeah, if you're getting like 16, 17 for it, it's a winner. If you're getting 14 for it, it's kind of a break even. I might get like 1 or 2 of these. Man, but a lot of these are selling per month. If it's, you just never know with stuff being close to an expiration date. I'll put it on there. I'm thinking you could probably get 16 for it. I'll put it on the list. I already sort of did an almost find, so I'll put this on. Let's see if we can find one more for you guys. I'll finish it out with something a little bit better than that. Let's see. 3-piece trend. Don't like that. To guess. Traditional medicinal. Ooh, this looks interesting. 15 and usually it's 35. All right. Yeah, I'm liking what that graph looks like. Count of 6. This is one where you could also debundle it. You could buy the pack of 6 and then sell it as the pack of 3, or that pack of 3, or that pack of 2, or this pack of 1. So there's lots of ways that you could sell this. 1552. Oops. 1552. Average 30-day. It's up there. 30%. Yeah. So this is, I like this a lot. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So, and again, this is for the 6-pack. So you could debundle this, sell this there. Let me just check what these 1-packs are selling for. $8. 15 divided by 6 is about 3, a little less than 3. That one probably wouldn't be good, but you can go through and check the others. My hunch is that the 2-pack is probably going to be phenomenal. That 1-pack is selling better. This is just a messy catalog. You are allowed to sell on both of these, but this one sells better, so I would probably pick that one. Then there's also the other. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of waiting for this to load over and over and over, let me just follow my own advice and click on that variations tab. All right, so the single pack is selling a lot, but that's selling for, actually, I mean, right now it's $6, but historically, yeah, it's about $8. You might be able to make a little profit there. 3-pack for 15. This is a 2-pack for 10. There's a couple places that I think you could break this down and make some money. So I will, I'll add this. All right. Yeah, not too shabby. Let me see here. Yeah, I like that. I think I was hoping to sort of get you guys pretty much to where sourcing camp costs, and this is right about what sourcing camp costs. Unless you've been to a sourcing camp before, in which case you get a coupon for it. But yeah, we pretty much, if you just buy 2 units of everything I just showed you, and if you're like a brain dead person who doesn't do any rabbit trailing and you learned nothing from this or anything like that, I mean, I feel like I kind of paid for your ticket right there. So I'm trying to make this as easy of a no-brainer decision as I can for sourcing camp. So with all of this, like, I've been trying to sort of show you guys what a taste, and this is a pretty deep taste, a taste of what sourcing camp is going to be. It's officially, so like the live video portions, there's 10 days that's happening. Every single day for about 6 hours on each of those days, we are going to be going on live video, both myself as well as 22 other 6, 7, and 8-figure active Amazon sellers who are going to be doing this. They're going to be sourcing in their own methods. I don't know everything. I know a lot of stuff, but not all the stuff. And everyone has their own style. Everyone likes different tools. Some people use AZ Insight like I was using. Some people use Seller Amp. I don't use Seller Amp. Some people love tactical arbitrage. Some people hate tactical arbitrage. Like, there's so many different tools and different methods out there. I didn't want it to just be the Nate show. I wanted to bring in all these other people. Who has access to this list? Anyone who's watching this video. I posted it at the beginning. I'll post another link right there. There you go. All right, so anyone who's here watching with us, this is the free list that I've put together for you guys that I just talked us through. There's about 20 people watching on YouTube and a handful over on Facebook. All right, so not actually a ton of people are looking at this list. And honestly, most of them are probably not going to be buying the stuff from a public list. So I don't know, it kind of makes it better for the people who do take the chance on it. So yeah, it's not just me at Sourcing Camp. I'm bringing in all these other people to share their own styles. There's people who love to do A to A flipping who are going to go deep into A to A flipping. There's people who love to like manually source stuff and they're like, I don't need the tools. The tools just slow me down. And they just manually source the heck out of stuff and find some great replens. There's people who sell a lot of replens. There's people who sell a lot of clearance toys. And like, there's just so many different ways to come at this. Again, a million ways to make $1 million. There's a ton of this in Sourcing Camp. Today is the last day that you can sign up. So I've got the QR code up there. If you want a link to Sourcing Camp, let me know. I want to show you guys real quick too. So with Sourcing Camp, obviously we're like hours and hours and hours of content showing you how to source more, better, new tactics, things like that. I don't care how large of a seller you are. I promise you, I will teach you new tricks that that you've never tried before, you've never thought about doing, either me or one of the other people at camp. And if we don't, tell me after camp and I'll send you your money back. Like I'm trying to make it like no risk. All right. If you feel like I upsold this or overpromised and under delivered, all right, let me know. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. It's not, I don't think that's going to happen. I've offered that. This is our seventh our seventh Sourcing Camp. I've done that same offer every time. I've only had one person take me up on that offer. And that one person didn't run their own business. They were somebody else's VA. And they're like, oh, well, this doesn't pertain to me because I'm just a virtual assistant. Like, well, why did you sign up for this? So yeah, let me show you real fast. Besides for all of that content, besides for all of the leads, this is, so we have this Q4 community that we've got set up for you guys, where you can ask questions, get to know other sellers. There's stuff that we're doing in there, really, really cool stuff. This comes with its own app. I have put together a ton of bonus content here in the classroom. I'm giving you guys a sneak peek. I'm letting you look behind the curtain here, some of the stuff that's inside Sourcing Camp. So these are just extra guides, like not even a part of the main Sourcing Camp event. Extra guides that we've written in the past 5 days between myself and a couple of the other camp counselors who are coming in, these other 6, 7, and 8 figure sellers who are coming in to help us do some speeches. There's so much stuff in here, so much stuff. We've got a ton of Keepa presets. Again, like you literally, you just click these links, boom, and it takes you in, you're off to the races, you're sourcing something. Like these, it's the presets that I use when I am sourcing for my own business or when I'm putting together a list like this. Like, where do I start my journeys? Boom, there, okay? We've put together SOPs, and again, a ton more of this is going to be added. Camp hasn't even started. It starts tomorrow, and we already have all this stuff. We've got ungating in anything. So if you're running into issues getting ungated, let me show you how to literally get ungated in anything, so long as Amazon is accepting applications. Okay, so a ton of stuff there, plus the community, plus all the live videos. I mean, it's just, there was nothing out there. I've said this a couple times, like I'm in this unique position where, like we've been an Amazon seller now for quite a while, 7, 8 years. I lose track of the time, but I've joined as a seller because I wanted information about Q4. As a seller, I have joined many different Q4 groups and classes and leads and whatever over the years. And I've never gone back to the same one twice. I've always come out disappointed because I feel like so many Q4 things, they sort of fall into 2 traps. One, either it's just a bunch of leads, and okay, leads are fine, but usually the leads are shared to like a couple hundred people. And that's no longer fine. Yeah, that's not good. Or it's like a lead sharing system. This is the other sort of mistake I see Q4 groups go into, where it's like, okay, you're required to share 1 profitable lead this month. And so if we get 300 people all together, everyone's sharing a lead, and everyone, like every month you're getting 300 leads. And it sounds good in theory, but the only people signing up for that are beginners. There's not experienced sellers going to those lead sharing ones. And I don't want 299 leads shared to me by someone who just started selling on Amazon. Like, that's probably not a good thing to buy. I don't really care about those. And I also don't really want to buy a lead that was just shared with 300 people. So it again goes back to the first problem with the first big list. So what we're doing here was we tried to turn it on its head. We're going to give you some leads, but instead of it being like, I'll use like a fishing analogy. I've used this a couple times. I see some of those other Q4 things as being like, okay, a bunch of people are waiting on shore. You've got 200 people waiting on the shoreline. The fishing boat comes in and says, all right, we caught 100 fish. Here you go. And they throw 100 fish to 200 people. And they say, well, the smart ones are going to buy this. And the smart ones are okay because the dumb ones aren't going to buy this. I don't like that. I would rather say, hey, here's 200 people on the shore. Let's come on my fishing boat. Let me go take you out. I'm going to show you exactly where I fish, exactly how I fish. It's not even like teaching you how to source. It's literally, we're going sourcing with you. We're going on this shipping boat. Like, we're going on a fishing trip. We're going to go sourcing. Please come with us. We are going to show you exactly where we go. We're going to show you how we fish. All right. Maybe I use these tools. Maybe this person does this manually. Maybe this other person does this. Maybe this person starts with a list and rabbit trails off. That person starts with a sail and they go off that. Whatever it is. Like, we start with so many different ways. So we go out on this fishing trip. We show you where to fish, how to fish, our favorite secret fishing spots, our favorite tools that we use for fishing, our favorite fishing poles, all that stuff. And then we catch some fish with you and show you how we catched it. And then we give you the fish. Okay. That's sort of like the leads aspect of it. Whatever we find, here it is. Here's a lead. Okay. So you're getting like hundreds of leads. I've already shared quite a few leads into Sourcing Camp already, just kind of for the early bird, the people who signed in early. I've just been periodically, every day or two, I've been jumping on and finding some stuff, sharing some bolos with them. There have been multiple people who have already entirely paid for their ticket to Sourcing Camp just with the handful of leads that I shared prior to camp even starting. All right. And if that's happening prior to camp even starting, like, it's going to be crazy during camp. So I'm really excited about this. I haven't seen anything on the market quite like this, which is why I made it. If I wanted to affiliate other Q4 places, I could. It would be easier for me and I would make more money because it would be zero work for me and I would just get half of whatever their cost is. That's usually what affiliate stuff pays out. But I didn't want that. I didn't like it. It wasn't even that, like, I thought I could do it better. I actively dislike basically every other Q4 offer that I have seen, that I have ever been a part of. The other large sellers that I know, most of the camp counselors that are coming to this also are in that same boat. Like, we've all been to a lot of different Q4 things and nothing really hits the mark quite where it should. Yeah, most people don't go to the same one twice because usually they just don't add up to what we're hoping for. There's some like smaller and mid-sized sellers who might sign up twice, but the people who've been in this for a while, who know like what things should be, it's just, I don't know. For Sourcing Camp, for example, this is a Q4 Sourcing Camp. To give a frame of reference, I can pull up the data. 70% of the people in this Sourcing Camp have been to previous Sourcing Camps. So that should tell you two things. One, every time we do this, it's bigger and better and crazier and people learn more stuff. And two, we provide so much value that people keep coming year after year, or time after time after time after time. Like, it's just, this is something that I've been really proud to put together. I'm so blessed and fortunate to have all of these other large scale sellers who also agreed to come in. And most of them are like, yeah, I'm just coming so I can like be a part of it because I'm trying to learn from other people. So like, they're using it as their Q4 group. The other counselors, the other speakers are using this as their Q4 leads, as their Q4 education, all of that stuff. They're coming here, even though they're speaking and teaching, they're also coming as students. And that's something really cool. So let me share a link here. So if you want to sign up, again, we're starting tomorrow. The live videos start tomorrow. So this is sort of your last chance. I'll probably, after the fact, I might offer to like sell the replays. But if you want to get in like live and get these leads live and not just rely on after the fact stuff, you want to sign up before midnight tonight. Because I gotta sort of put like a cutoff for when I can pull people in, because I myself am speaking and managing and facilitating. And I can't really be speaking and doing stuff on video and sourcing for people while I'm also troubleshooting people coming in and trying to bring people into camp. So make sure that you grab your ticket before the end of tonight. I'll leave it up for a couple hours, let people kind of funnel in. I know people will be watching this replay later on. But yeah, I am so excited for this. The other camp counselors are super excited for this. Yeah, this has been kind of my baby that I've been putting together for a while. So I'm really proud of what I put together. I don't put stuff out if I'm not proud of it, or I would put it out once and then never do it again. That's happened a couple of times. It's like, I didn't really like how I did that. I'm not going to do that again. All right. So do you guys have Any questions at all? Any questions about sourcing camp? Questions about sourcing? Questions about any of those leads that I shared? Questions about other issues you're facing on Amazon? People have been sharing their stuff so far. I will be here for you guys. I'll probably cut this off. If we go more than like 30 more minutes, I'll probably cut it off there. But I'll give you guys up to about 30 minutes. I'm an open book here. Ask me whatever you want. What issues can I help you guys with? Okay? I'm gonna start pulling up the, I'll pull my video over here to this screen. There we go. Now I can see both sides of questions. Okay, so I've got my, my YouTube questions over here, my Facebook questions over here. I'm going to try to go through some of these. I'm gonna start over here with some Facebook questions. I've been leaving these out for a bit. So let's see. Yeah, Henna was asking about that generic issue. We kind of covered that a little bit earlier. You just can't list on generic listings. Oh, painter's tape works well for, yeah, the gripper tape or painter's tape works fine. Gripper tape is really cheap, so I just recommend, it's like, I don't know, $5 for a roll of like 1,000 that you'll never run out of. So I recommend that. And the polybag would hold it close too, but for me, best practice when you're shipping things in like squirty bottles like that, where if someone sits on it, it can kind of squirt out. I just tell people, put it like, it costs you like less than a penny. It's like 1/10 of a penny for a piece of gripper tape, and it takes you 2 seconds. So that's what I recommend, is sort of the double tape over the top of the cap of something like paint, and then put it in a ply bag. Never been able to check out at Joann's. Interesting. I wonder if you would have to use like a VPN or something, because I know, Debbie, you're located outside the US. So each product you found, you used a different tool for them. Yes, Nicholas, each product I found to use a different tool for the most part. I mean, it was usually like 2 or 3 things per method or style or tool. I tried to just do a wide variety of things to show you guys a bunch, just sort of like a recap of some of the stuff we've been learning, and a post cap for some of the stuff that we'll be diving deeper into during sourcing camp. Oh yeah, Hoopla had a good cash back. Nice, good catch, Damien. All right. Does the brand of the product being on the listing matter? Okay, yeah. So we kind of covered that, Nicholas. Usually it does. Generally, for a beginner, I say avoid that. For the people coming to sourcing camp, where we're going past that beginner stage, avoid that 95% of the time, but understand that there is that 5%. And in that situation, in my opinion, that was one of those 5%ers. Brandy says, sourcing camp was amazing. Awesome, thank you. Tony, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Monica on Facebook said, I've been selling since 2019 and I've done 4 sourcing camps. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, that's so, like, it's just, yeah, it's, I'm very happy, Monica, that you have felt like I've provided you enough value to pay for that many sourcing camps consistently every time, and that you've learned that much and you've made that much money. Yeah, we try really hard to make this like basically free for you by like, or like an extension of the stuff that we are providing, like whether it's tips about like, oh, here's like free boxes you can get right now, or this random coupon where you can get a bunch of this free stuff, or these products that you can flip that you can make this much money. Like we try really hard to make camp actively pay for itself, even if you are a bonehead like me that has a really hard time learning new stuff. So even if you learn nothing, camp should in theory pay for itself, but I don't want that. I want you to learn. The purpose of this, the purpose of our fishing trip, is so you can see how we do the fishing and where we do the fishing. But even if you're a knucklehead and you do nothing, we'll still feed you the fish. All right, let me see over here on YouTube. Okay, how many hours a day was sourcing camp? I answered this earlier, but it's depends on the day. Usually about 5 or 6 hours each day, but they are all recorded. So after the fact, if you need to reference this back, and actually, like I was just talking to, I think Randy was telling me, one of our Amazon friends, like he will play these sourcing camps just in the background in his, I think he does prep in a garage or in a warehouse or something, but just like in the background, he'll just have this playing for himself, other preppers, things like that, just because you just kind of pick up golden nuggets. He's rewatched it multiple times of past sourcing camps. We're trying to sort of make this like the golden standard of Amazon information. And this specifically for information regarding Q4, like what are we doing for Black Friday? What's our plan there? What are we doing for, like, how are we pricing our items? What's our strategy for December? What's our strategy for in January when everyone has all these returns? Like, what the heck are we going to do to not go bankrupt in Returnuary? Okay. So yeah, it's usually 5 or 6 hours per day. There's about 50-ish hours on the schedule as far as live videos go. Most of the time we will start at 4 or 5 p.m. EST and go till about 11 p.m. EST. But again, it's all recorded. I expect maybe 1 or 2 people to go to all of them, and that would be including myself. I really don't expect people to make it to every single live breakout session. I assume that many people will be going for the recordings. And that's why we have the community, so you can ask questions. Later on, like on the videos, you can, the counselors are all there. Like, you can tag them. You can ask questions directly to them about the stuff that they're saying. So yeah. Linda, okay, yeah, I think we got that fixed for you. No worries. Let's see, that question about AZ Insight. Yeah, so we talked, so the sales rank is for the parent listing, as would any sort of estimated sales. The all of the other data is specific to that variation. All right. Yeah, some of these I'm recovering. We covered that one already. Thank you for the session. As always, super educational. Yeah, that was my goal here. Like, even if you don't have the budget to come to sourcing camp, all right, I'm not like offended or anything like that. I get it. I started selling on Amazon with $100. So day one, Nate could not have afforded to come to sourcing camp. Also, year 8 or whatever, Nate would tell day one, Nate, don't come to sourcing camp, man. You have $100. Like, you have to spend all of your money on your inventory. If you have a tight budget and you're like, oh man, how am I going to afford this? Nope, that's the wrong question. I don't want your money. Nope, go somewhere else. Hopefully you don't pay someone else your money either. It really bothers me when people are like, oh man, like I can't really afford this. If you can't, like, why would you pay to learn how to source stuff if you don't have the money to buy the stuff that you just learned how to source? It doesn't make a lick of sense. So if this is outside your budget, that is totally fine. I'm not expecting everyone to come. That's why I did this 15 days of sourcing challenge just for myself. This stuff, completely free. I hope that I was able to make you a lot of money. I hope I was able to, I'm pretty sure I was able to teach you a couple of stuff. But I want you guys to get out there and I want you to buy inventory first. Always inventory first. It doesn't matter. You could purchase the most incredible leads list ever created in the history of mankind. But if you don't have money to buy the stuff on the list, then what the heck are you buying it for? Okay, so spend your money on inventory first. Everything else comes secondary. This is one of those things. I don't want you to send me your money if you are struggling to buy inventory. That's ridiculous. I want you to have a successful Amazon business, with or without me. It doesn't, I mean, I'm happy if you're with me, but if you have a successful Amazon business without me, I'm happy. Will we be able to get the resources, the guides, SOPs, if we are unable to go to the live set? Yes, of course. So all of that, Peter, I'll share my screen one more time and I'll give you a little sneak peek behind the scenes here. We're going to enter the matrix as you see my screen. All right. So this is like in your classroom right here. Okay. So, when you sign up for it, this is a part of it. It doesn't matter if you're going to the live sessions or not. This is our, like, the Q4 community. So you can see here, you click right here on the classroom and you see we've organized the guides and SOPs and all that stuff right here. This is all sitting right here waiting for you. So you don't have to come to the live sessions in order to get that. We're not trying to like remove anything. There is literally nothing that is withheld from you if you are unable to make it to a live session. Like, nothing. You can comment on the videos. You can still get the same answers. The only thing is it's not in real time. that is the only thing that is like withheld. But we're not withholding anything at all. You get 100% of the value of this, even if you can't show up. So let's see. Thanks a lot, Nate. Yeah, so proud of you. I appreciate it, Bimo. Bemo. I like that name. I work full time and can't make it live. We'll try to make the replays. Awesome. What do you do when Amazon caps a price and you make a loss on a product? Yeah, you kind of have to work around that. There's some strategies like trying to work your way up, trying to work your way down. There's a couple repricers that will help with that. So like we work with a repricer called Aura. We've got some discount stuff like that for it, but that'll help try to work with that. It's a pain. Amazon has gotten sued for it multiple times from multiple states because it's kind of illegal what they're doing, but that's the game we play. There's no like perfect solution, but there are some strategies to reduce it, if that makes sense. All right, I think that was the final question. So again, if you guys are interested, if you're watching the replay of this, you can scan that barcode. If it's past tonight, you can still sign up for Sourcing Camp and get the replays like later on. It might take me a little bit to actually pull you in. So if you sign up late, you're probably going to miss a couple of the initial live sessions. You can still get the recordings later on and all that. But if you want to be there, if you want to be there for the main event, for the big kickoff and all that stuff, you want the leads right from the beginning, you've got until the end of tonight to sign up for Sourcing Camp. All right. So I put the link in the comment section. I put the link up there. I put the link, I think, in the description as well. I appreciate you guys, as always. It's been a pleasure hanging out with the 20-ish of you guys that are here hanging out with me. So hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you make a bunch of money this Q4.